Hi everyone, it's Jaya here from Epicenter Healing. Welcome back to our channel. I'm so happy to have you here today. So today we're going to be talking about the inner child and inner child work. If you haven't already had a look at our channel, please do have a look at all of the existing videos that are on here. We've put in a lot of effort, so obviously there'll be something there for you, a nice topic for you that will help you to move on to the next chapter. But the inner child work is very interesting. I've done a lot of research into this topic, but there is a lot of varying research out there on what is the best thing to do. In other words, how do I get through my inner child work and make it work the best for me in my life? So this is how I always look at everything. I look at everything in a way of how do I use that to create a solution, or how do I use that to move on to something better? And that really is the whole essence of Epicenter Healing, that we're here. We're wanting to move on to the next chapter of our life again and again and again. That's everybody. I haven't spoken to one human being yet that said to me, yes, Jay, I want to be stuck. It's just never happened. So yeah, the whole point in this video is really to integrate. We're trying to integrate everything that's happened to us in those first 7 years. When we're talking about the inner child, it's that first 7 years that is incredibly important. We are understanding that the inner child work is composed of a lot of conscious behavior by the child and the people in the environment, and also by a lot of unconscious patterns and memories that are formed within our psyche. So these unconscious patterns, they really are there, and they are able to be accessed through a variety of methods. So Mukesh has developed many techniques. He also trained under a lady for a while called Sidra Jaffrey. And there is a particular technique that he knows, which is the ABC technique. And I know that that has been very effective when he's been working with clients with inner child work. So if you would like to book a session with Mukesh, you can do it at www.epicenterhealing.com, or you can book with myself. We also have courses there on our channel, which I'm very proud to have up and running. And we've kept all the prices low for you so that you can explore, read about the topics that make you really interested. Like, we have to stay interested in life, we have to stimulate these new brain waves, and we have to keep our brain neuroplastic. So we can do that by engaging in different things that we are interested in. So I'm very interested in the inner child work, and I've done a lot of research into it, and I have managed to integrate much of my inner child stuff. There's some stuff that we can't integrate, some memories and some events, but if we can't integrate something, the best advice that I would give on that is to basically use it in a way to make something better. So if we can't integrate anger, I'll take anger because that's a really popular thing. It's something that I went through a while back, like chapters of anger. And angers are linked to different types of emotions, which are makes us feel like we're out of control, makes us feel that we've lost control, that somebody else is in control of us, or something else is in control of us. That is the root and the basis of anger. But where I used anger as a very big tool is when I suppose when I was training a lot in the gym, which is a way that you can transform your anger. So this is just a way to explain to you how we can basically use something that we can't integrate and we can channel it somewhere else in a positive way. A bad way to channel anger from your inner child memories would be shouting at somebody else, or taking it out on somebody else, or worse still, on anything living or even non-living, because you're hurting yourself. So you can see that even with unintegrated parts of us, we are able to channel them. And that's the power of metaphysics. So we are metaphysical practitioners as well. So we have a very wide and all-encompassing background in the healing services. So the inner child work, if you're approaching it at home, you can approach it in many different ways. So I'm going to take it in a very practical way because we are here on the 3D realm. But from a practical perspective, you can literally get a journal if you like to write. And if you don't do it. Don't do something that you don't really want to do. Because if I ask you to do it, then it's become like a teacher-student relationship here. And that is not what Epicenter Healing is founded on. We are friends. We are friends first. So, you never force your friend or tell them what to do. And that's the same here. So that's one method. You can literally write it down, everything. I want you to ask yourself the question. You ask yourself the question and say, okay, what is in the back of my mind with my inner child? What is in the back of my mind? What is there? And start to write. You ask the question, you get the answer with yourself. If you're with other people and you want to be private about it, you can just go into a separate room and just do it there. It's not a problem. You just do it by yourself. Some people prefer to speak and do things with people in the room. Some people prefer by themselves to open up and express their feelings. So because I'm here on our channel, as you all know, I have become used to being expressive. But in the day-to-day, in the corporate world, many people have to hold their emotion down. Hold your emotion down. And even with the inner child work, as when we are children, because we are so used to basically pleasing our mum and dad. Like, does mummy love me? Does daddy love me? Because it's actually a survival instinct. We're so used to it. We have to do it as like, it's a tribal thing. It's a survival thing that we often stuff emotions down there as well. So you could take one page of just generally about your emotions in present adult day, and you could go back and take each year if you want to. Your body intelligence is really high. So if you say, what inner child trauma did I store at 2 years old? And then you also say, what was the best thing that happened to me at 2 years old? You will start to get these different chapters present themselves in front of you. And if you want to go one stage beyond that, what I would say is you go back over your pages, and whatever stands out as beautiful to you, you focus on that. If you focus on the beauty, the bad things, they will shift into the background. There's a video that I released on our channel, which is the power of the spoken word, positive versus negative. I have done a lot of work on the power of the spoken word. So much work. And I really am an advocate for it. I'm not an advocate for, toxic positivity, but I am an advocate for no gossip. And there's many teachers on YouTube, many teachers that I've been to, that I've trained under, that will talk about the power of the spoken word. And anybody who is religious, who's watching this video, you also know the power of the spoken word. In particular, my Christian friends are very strong with the power of the spoken word. I've noticed that they are very particular with what comes out of their mouth. And I've also seen that by them being so particular about what comes out of their mouth, they have been very much in line with themselves and not veered into the crowd. And by being this way, they have actually managed to keep their life in a straight line with a straight direction. So that is the power of your spoken word. A clear mind is clear words, and clear words are clear mind. Sometimes we don't get there straight away. We're not always clear. We're going through a thinking period. But if you are noticing that your words are becoming more negative, they start to create a more negative mind. So that's the power of the words, and why you should have a look at what you're thinking, what you're speaking. And in terms of the inner child work, you can actually reframe your inner child work. So when you're reframing, you can essentially rewrite your story. Now, I know you might be thinking, Jaya, I can't rewrite something that's so bad that happened to me, but I can join in and say there were many bad things that happened to me. I also know from my clients there's many bad things that happened to them. And I know from my friends there's bad things that happen to them, and from family members there's bad things that happen to them. So we can go round and round, But at one point, we make the choice what we do with our life, how we live it, and how we behave. Strong behavior creates a very positive self-esteem. If we have a behavior that is full of integrity, it gives us a great self-esteem. So there's power in reframing our inner child, the things that happen. How can we reframe it? You can have a look at the things that you've written down on the page, or even just with me, you can think about these things and you can just let them go while I'm talking to you. There are many ways we can start to shift these different things out. I've worked with many practitioners. They've used many different methods. So if you think that something is not able to be gotten rid of, a thought or a memory, then please take a look at the scientific research behind neuroplasticity in particular, and that will help you. Because neuroplasticity is, it's a great tool of forming new memories and reshaping your mind. And we're doing that anyway. If you think about in school, we're reshaping our mind all the time. So what's not to say we can reshape a memory in order for it to suit us so that we don't hurt anymore? That's the reason why we're doing it. We're doing it to make sure that we stop hurting so that we can go on to another point in our life. I'm really enjoying this channel today. I just want to say thank you to Source, to the Universal Intelligence, because obviously they have turned up today for you. And yeah, so we are here because we need to turn things around in order to get to that point of being a creator in our life. We're always creating, but it's just whether we are conscious of it or whether we are not conscious of it. So we can reframe this inner child part of us. We can also choose to do let go work. We can choose to do focus work. So I've spoken a lot about letting go, and there's a great book on letting go, the Sedona method. So you can have a look at that. It's very good. And or we can refocus on the beautiful things again and again and again. And these methods, these two things, help you to harness your mind. That's all we're doing with inner child work. We are harnessing our mind, and we are using what benefits us, and we are disregarding what does not benefit us. So I want you to look at inner child work as a tool and as a method to make yourself better, and also as a forgiveness stage. So when we're children, our parents, most of them did not come with this big fat manual of how to raise a child. And because they didn't come with this manual, they probably, I say most parents did the best they could. And even the parents that awfully failed at the job of parenting were still doing what they knew how to do, what was in their capacity. Capacity is often a word that I use with my dad, actually, when we're talking about business. We talk about capacity. We also talk about capacity, Mukesh and I, with energy and wealth containers. So we talk about capacity, that sometimes our parents, they only have a certain level of capacity. And this certain level of capacity means they can only do a certain amount for us. It's an area that I delved into very deeply, and I stayed and delving into that area again and again for many years. And that's the key message there, that basically, if there are things you are unhappy about in your childhood, if you can forgive and say that that person was only doing the best that they could, even if your mind said, no, but they could have done better, because just tell your mind for a minute, the truth and the reality, the human behavior, most people, even if you look around your own life, most people are good. Most people try their best. So it helps us to move through our inner child work. If we understand that people have a certain amount of capacity, parents have a certain amount of capacity, and this is you imagine these tiny little children, our capacity was so small to understand anything. So when I say our capacity was so small, what I mean is, like, you know, if one of our parents was always stressed out, we'll use that as an example, maybe it was to do with money, because there's world rules on money. So maybe we never got that bond with our parent because they were trying to provide for us. But as a child, all you ever see is, oh, my parent is stressed out. My mummy doesn't love me because she's just in her head. I mean, you don't even know that as a child, but what I'm trying to say is, you can see when your parents weren't present when you were a child. And all you see that is as they don't love me, because you have not yet got an adult brain. When you get to an adult brain and you go backwards in time, which I've done through my full lifeline, I've gone back in time, I've re-delved in. And at this point making this video, I know why. That's the beautiful thing about life. When you get to these moments, you're like, oh, this is why I had to go through X, Y, and Z. But you get to that point and you realize that everybody is only doing the best that they can. And even the people that are even doing bad things, it doesn't make it right, and it doesn't mean you put up with bad things as an adult or even as a child anywhere. But what it means is, when we're doing healing work, epicenter healing, when we do our healing work, we are creating more awareness, more understanding, and that way, as a human being, we end up having a better life because we connect with humanity more. So a lot of people who are doing their inner child work at the moment, they're doing their inner child work because they want to enhance themselves. Else they wouldn't be doing their inner child work. They'd just be like, oh, they wouldn't even delve into it. And that's the whole point. When you delve into something like inner child work, it's going to get harder, but then it will get easier. You start to shed light in different ways, such as how we have discussed in this video. So I do a lot of one-to-one inner child work. I do child charity work too. So if there's something you need to speak to me about, you can do. You can send us an email, like I said in the video, info@epicenterhealing.com. And I would just encourage you to, whatever resonates with you on our channel, have a scroll through, because if you've come across this video today, chances are there will be something else for us that we want to share with you that will help you to shift into a better chapter of your life. And so on that note, take care. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like and share our videos, hit our notifications bell. And we love you. Thank you for your support up until now. We're very grateful. And we will see you on our next video.